Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast done by Beyond the Summit. Today we'll be doing the Phase 2 of the G1 League qualifier. This is Rattlesnake versus Invasion MUFC Armageddon. Well, you definitely know Winter, of course, a member of the Beyond the Summit as well. But for now, this is Luminous and Gods bringing you guys the commentary. LD is the Overlord hovering behind me for now. He's getting ready to lift. But we have a long day of broadcast for you guys. Not only will we be doing of course, the G1 League qualifiers, we also have replay later on in the evening as well, and that's going to be some exciting matches. But Gods, you're amped up, ready to join us for this cast. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm actually really energized right now because this is where the matches are starting to get exciting. Teams are fighting for those spots in Phase 3. So the winners of the matches today, the two winners, are joining the four auto-invited teams to Phase 3, which is Orange, LGD China, Invictus Gaming, as well as Team DK. So we'll have four teams joining them, two from today and two from tomorrow. And while MUFC are looking to sort of prove themselves with this new roster of theirs.
I mean, MUFC definitely had a little bit of tough time in the GESD Challenge, was able to make it to the winner bracket final, but eventually got knocked out by Orange Esport and then by LGD International. So again, they want to go back to the G1 League qualifier and perhaps play some of these top Chinese teams. But today they got to do it through a Phantom Lancer, who's going to be the Rattlesnake pick. So Clockwork, Darkseer, Phantom Lancer opening up here for Rattlesnake, and MUFC going to answer back with a Lone Druid and Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I like the Lone Druid pick. Actually a bit surprised that it snuck through the pool. It's been a hero which the Southeast Asian teams and the Chinese teams have really been very proactive with banning. But we saw the Lifesteal, Batrider, Nyx Assassin, as well as Mag get banned out. There's so many heroes, strong heroes in the pool now that generally been seeing Mag slip through the pool, but this time around it was not the case as MUFC ban out. They've got one more pick coming up, and I imagine they start looking for maybe their solo mid. They like to play a lot of Queen of Pain. I know you're not a big fan of the hero, but it is sort of something that MUFC tend to do quite a bit.
I wasn't a big fan of Tiro until I seen Teletubby yesterday. I'm not sure if you caught rumors of that play. It was good enough for LD to actually put on Teletubby on the actual stream. So I've been a fan ever since.
Well, we'll have to see if it's something MUFC going to look at Beastmaster. Haven't seen them run a Beastmaster ever since they've had this new lineup. But it makes sense if they want to go for this strong early to mid game push. When you're up against a Phantom Lancer, you really want to do that. You've got the Lone Druid there who benefits a lot from this aura, so it's a strong sort of 5-man death ball army that they're sort of starting to make here.
Yeah, it seems like it is picked solely for the aura. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be done for the other purposes. Of course, with that Beastmaster Roar, a lot of these heroes don't really mind being Roar. The Darkseer, for example, the Clockwork. In fact, they really want to be Roar. After they drop their spell, they just want to be, soaking up the bulk of damage. And Beastmaster, of course, is a decent ganker against Phantom Lancer, especially if you're going to be going for the Necrobook build. Speaking of the Necrobook build, can you imagine Inner Beast Aura, a Necro 3 aura plus some Chen creeps plus Lone Druid? That's some scary Lone Druid damage output.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong potential to slip in something like a Chen here. Just a reminder, Lumi, make sure your in-game audio is working. I've seen one or two people mention just to make sure that it is all good to go. But
mine is working. Is
right,
yours
good.
working?
Yeah, mine's working.
Okay.
Set. Keeper of the Light was not banned or picked. Wow.
Yeah, I think
it's been the trending thing somewhat, I guess.
I think for the Orange versus MUFC matchup that we casted for the GSC challenge, it wasn't picked till at all, right? If I remember, I think there was one match game, where it was not picked at all. So
yeah, one game it got completely ignored. Oh, okay, sorry, I misread. It's not the in-game audio; it's the game sounds. The actual the Dota 2 sounds apparently are not quite loud enough.
Okay, I will turn those up. And hopefully they will be loud enough.
And so there's your Chen ban though. Rattlesnake decided to take out the Chen, which I think you really need to do here against MUFC. If you give him the Chen as well with the Shadow Demon, for one thing, you've got a really strong ganking duo to help dominate the early game, and then come mid game, the pushing power is just really scary to go up against.
Yeah, not only the ganking, Chen plus Shadow Demon, there's some sick things you could do with, the send back of Test of Faith, and then you disrupt that hero will be going back to base, whether you like it or not. There is absolutely no way to stop that. So very, very powerful offensively, very, very powerful defensively, and of course, earlier we talked about the Inner Beast plus Centaur creep, or Satyr creep, or Wowk, and whatever big aura creep that you pick up could make this Spare Bear absolutely ridiculous. So they do get rid of that. Meanwhile, MUFC will be banning out Rubik, Keeper of Light, as well as Puck, a little bit geared towards kind of mobility based, and of course a very, very kind of AoE heavy crowd control hero. As Rattlesnake already have the Clockwork and Darkseer, you don't want more on their team. It's just kind of getting scary already.
Yeah, and their bans mostly target support heroes because right now Rattlesnake do not have a support hero. Darkseer can be played in the jungle, which is why you see the Puck ban, because they could put the Darkseer in the jungle, run Puck as their solo mid. But the other two support bans, at this point, Rattlesnake has gone very, very revealing with their first 3 picks. They've revealed the fact they're going a Phantom Lancer carry, which is fine, but then when you slip in your offlaner, the Clockwork, as well as another potential solo in the Darkseer who can go to the mid lane or maybe to the jungle, MUFC have a very good idea of what they're up against.
Yeah, it looks like Lina is going to be the 4th pick here, which is a little bit surprising to me, considering that Lina is one of the more bursty supports, but only if she gets enough levels. And to be honest, Beastmaster don't really care about Lugina Blade. Lone Druid, in fact, he doesn't care at all, especially if he's going to be going for that casual cloak. So maybe this is a pick that's going to be a little bit geared towards the heroes that might be coming for MUFC. Shadow Demon is always a good target, and to be honest, they have enough frontline tanks. I mean, the range support is definitely very welcome, especially in the form of a high bursty nuker and a very decent AoE defender as well. You know the push is going to be coming from Invasion MUFC, so having Dragon Slave as a very effective defense spell is pretty good.
I think it's definitely a good hero in its own merit, like you mentioned. Then on top of that, you're denying it from MUFC. MUFC would have loved to have that 1-2 punch with Shadow Demon Lina, and with Leshrac out of the pool, there's not a whole lot of obvious choices to combine with this Shadow Demon. Chen not there as well, so the secondary support for MUFC, we're looking at maybe something like a Sand King, something which just isn't quite as strong in the early game. They're going to grab a Weaver for now, so that's generally played in the offlane for them. And I really like this hero. I think it adds a lot. It's a hard hero to kill. It's a hero that can actually get XP, some farm here and there up in that offlane against a Phantom Lancer. And it does sort of contribute a bit to the early to mid game pushes. It's just a very strong, versatile hero.
Gods, I'm not sure if you can help me with this. I'm not sure why I'm not getting any Dota 2 audio at all. I've been trying to turn it up. I hear you clearly, so hopefully something we could, I blame LD. He muted it.
Is he behind you?
No, that's why I could blame him. I mean,
oh, is it unmuted now?
It is unmuted now. I figured it out. All right, I have pressed that one magical button.
He mutes it like when he does a little intro.
Yeah,
so like,
he does.
When you're doing the intro, you don't hear like, 10 seconds to pick or whatever.
I'm sure he told me to unmute it, but you know, I don't listen to nobody. But Gyrocopter is a pickup. The one thing that you were talking about Weaver kind of being a nice hero with the MUFC lineup, I agree with that. But also on the same note, I feel like he's a little bit awkward against the Rattlesnake lineup. Lina, of course, eats Weaver alive, especially if she could drop the entire combo on him. I feel like Weaver doesn't do too much against Phantom Lancer. He doesn't do anything against Darkseer. But more importantly, those cogs, they burn 200 mana. And Weaver definitely needs a lot of mana, especially to going through his entire combo. So I'm not sure what the hero, to be honest, is really accomplishing here.
I think it's more just meant to be annoying more than anything. Especially, I don't think they're intending to put it up against the Clockwork in that matchup. It does sort of act as a nice counter even later on into the mid-game fights, having the cogs up against the Weaver. But we'll see how it fits in. It's definitely a hero that could struggle a bit in that offlane. It looks like it will be up against a Lina dual lane, a Lina PL lane, because Darkseer, I imagine, is going into the jungle here. Lan M, not known for playing the support role, so I highly doubt this is going to be a support Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of crazy in terms of the amount of farm that's going to be needed. Of course, Clockwork could definitely be a support hero. We don't see it too often, but Cogs is a very, very tri-laneable spell. It does definitely set up the LSA as a follow-up here for the Lina, so it's definitely possible. But quickly, let's introduce the players here. Kabut's going to be playing the Clock Luo, or Lu, going to be playing the Darkseer. We have Icy going to be playing the Phantom Lancer. Sag M, or Sage, whatever you call his name, is going to be Lina. And Lanham is going to be on Gyrocopter.
Well, for the dire side, it's MUFC. They've got Winter playing the Shadow Demon, FCFZ playing the Beastmaster. We've got Hon Trash Player, or WTF, playing the farming Lone Druid. We've got Wang Wang playing the Sand King, and then finally it leaves TFG for the final hero. And what was that going to be? It's the Weaver. He's going to be most likely going into that off lane.
TFG is sometimes... Have TFG played Puck lately? I remember his Puck was quite legendary, especially on his one of the quote-unquote debut on the top tiers of teams. But I haven't seen him play that Puck too often lately.
Well, he's not. He's playing the Weaver, not the Puck here.
I know. I mean, it's just a side question. Have you seen him? Have you seen him playing Puck? I feel like he's a very great Puck player.
I've seen more of the Queen of Pain from him, I'd say. Okay. Every now and then they go Puck, but it's not been a regular pick coming out of them. The one time I've seen MUFC pick it, they ran it in the off lane, which obviously off lane Puck can get very shut down, and that was the case with that game.
Okay, yeah, I was just a little bit curious myself. No big deal. But yeah, let's go back to the Radiant composition here. As we talked about Lamb not being usually the support. Well, if you look at his item right now, he's looking like a support to me. And of course, we've seen teams like LGD Int really run the support gyrocopter to a very, very great success. A great trialing hero, and especially if you have the setup of a slow from a Spirit Lance as well as a LSA follow-up, your gyrocopter could easily get in position for some big rocket barrage damage.
I think it's a decent setup, but it's not as good as normally. The gyrocopter trialings we've seen coming up LGD International, they've generally had something like a Shadow Demon or a Rubik Telekinesis. I feel the Lance into the Light Strike array just isn't quite as reliable of an initiation for the gyrocopter to get in range for a rocket barrage. It'll be really obvious when it's coming in. As soon as you see that Lance, you can often either dodge the stun or just make sure you're out of range, right? So I think it's a less reliable trialing and something which we may see them struggling to get kills. Not to mention, they're going to be up against, if they're trialing in bottom up against an offlane Weaver, they're not really going to be able to get too many kills there without some early sentries and dust.
Yeah, like I'm glad that you brought it up. Against this particular lineup from MUFC, it's going to be hard to initiate. Weaver is going to be basically unkillable because there's no reliable stun like you talked about. I mean, even against the, well, good thing that we're still... The overlay, yes, I know, the overlay needs to be fixed. All right, good thing that they're up against Shadow Demon and Sand King. Shadow Demon could easily disrupt the combo throughout anywhere with the Shadow Demon disruption, as well as Sand King being really able to dodge Rocket Barrage if that's what he wants, or dodge that Spirit Lance. So, for the most part, I feel like against this particular lineup, that combo may not be enough, like you're pointing out.
Were you... Rattlesnakes, to get here, they beat Gizmo 2-0. You were casting that game with LD, yeah?
No, I did not cast that game.
Okay, because I think in that game they did a dual lane with Clockwork and Darkseer. And that may be what we're seeing here again. They did an awkward off-lane dual lane, but I mean, you imagine Clockwork with Cogs, Iron Shell is great. Two are basically the best spells for off-lane heroes, and then you combine the two heroes together. Then you can have the Lena as well as the Phantom Lancer just running a strong dual lane. Because running a trial lane against Weaver seems a bit inefficient. It seems it seems to me having the tri lane against the Weaver, you're not going to be able to kill him and you're going to be wasting time. So maybe we see them go for some kind of a dual lane with Clockwork and Darkseer up top and then the Lena PL just at bottom with Lena kind of zoning out the Weaver as much as possible.
I mean, we've been talking about a lot of the laning here. Let's kind of fast forward 40 minutes in the game. How will the game be, assuming all else quite equal? Phantom Lancer against Lone Druid. It's a lineup, a Lone Druid, Weaver, and of course an Inner Beast Aura, which is a lot, actually, if you think about it. I mean, how does this match up? It's going to be the solo carry, if you will, because you know Lamb is not going to be carrying it up here as a support gyro. Can he be enough to really hold it?
I don't see this game going 40 minutes, to be honest. I mean, okay, if it does, Rattlesnake win, but I think MUFC, their goal is to end this around the 25 to 30 minute mark, or at least have a really big snowball. If it goes 40 minutes and MUFC don't have a 10k lead, then they're in trouble. Because MUFC lineup is all about getting that snowball. Get tower after tower using the Lone Druid Beastmaster pushing power. And I think if it goes 40 minutes and we're on equal terms, then MUFC are in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. There's just no set of items on Lone Druid as well as the Weaver could really out-carry the insane imbalance hero that is known as the Phantom Lancer. But, well, we really have talked to death about this kind of matchup, but we're just waiting for these guys to reconnect, or whoever the AFK player for MUFC. Isn't there some rule against this?
Well, apparently, I think there actually is. I think there's. I know G1 League actually have some strict rules about pauses. You're not actually allowed to pause during fights according to their rules, which is obviously something which was a big point for dispute as of late. And G1 League actually having rules saying you can't pause mid-fight. And I think there's a limit to the pause as well. I can't remember the exact rule, but I remember seeing it quoted in the Goshu Gamers article where they talked about the pause and what it means for stuff.
Well, let's see how much we talk about that particular topic without actually name dropping the topic itself. I actually wasn't sure what happened, particularly with that particular event.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about it? It was just a pause in the middle of a team fight, or?
The pause itself was, I'm going to say fine. Obviously, the pause affected they paused it really as the gank was coming, and because of that, it allowed him to dodge a shackle shot, and Na'Vi managed to turn a fight around. But the issue wasn't the pause. Every team has paused almost every professional team has paused in a big fight at a very unlucky time because of a hardware issue, someone lagging, someone spiking. The issue was Puppy's response on Twitter where he was a bit rude.
Yeah, he was a bit.
That was the only issue. The actual, what Merlini brought up a legitimate issue in competitive Dota. It wasn't an attack on Na'Vi. He was brought up an issue which exists with every team. He just happened to use an example with Na'Vi. So I think Puppy took it as something which was obviously directed at Na'Vi, when what Merlini was just trying to do is saying, hey, pausing in fights is a big issue in competitive games, because here's an example where it affected the outcome of the battle. MTW got like the short end there because the pause made them lose. No one was saying, hey, okay, I think the issue was Merlini said it was a tactical pause, when in actuality, Light of Heaven was having some hardware issues. His mouse wasn't working. So it wasn't actually a tactical pause, but it was a very inopportune time for a pause to happen. And I think Puppy got upset because Merlini said that it was a tactical pause when it wasn't anything of the sort. But Puppy's response was sort of inexcusable regardless.
Well, good thing that we have God's very
diplomatic
opinion on this matter as well. So now we know.
Yeah. I'm very anti-pauses. I believe that you should not be pausing ever during a fight, even if it's even at that fight there shouldn't have been a pause. I think maybe it should be made so only admins can pause or something, at least in certain rule sets. Because I think the big issue is, as a pro player, especially a sponsored team, it's your job to have your shit together and not have your mouses break mid team fight.
Shots fired.
I mean, I'm not at Na'Vi, but just in general, you should not be having issues mid. I mean, you shouldn't be having issues in general. Obviously, some will happen, but if it happens in a team fight, tough luck.
Yeah,
if you lose a fight because your mouse died, then that's your own fault.
That's kind of like a big boy mentality, but I completely agree. I mean, if you're a professional team and you can't get your hardware or internet now, you know. Now, to be fair, a lot of places in the world don't have, the best internet, like Singapore, like Malaysia. So
I think if you disconnect mid-fight as well, you don't pause. That's my opinion. If you're the Dota overlord. Yeah. If it's mid-fight and someone disconnects, you play until the fight's over, and then you could pause and wait for them to reconnect. Because it's the player's job. Obviously, not all teams have even the teams playing in these pro tournaments aren't in conditions where they have the proper support that they need, and it's obviously really hard to make it in esports, but I don't know, shit's hard.
Shit. Well, actually, do you remember any pauses that we had throughout TI2 at all? I remember there was like one.
Yeah. There was a couple. I remember once because it was Bruno and I at the desk, and it came back to us, and we were just like twiddling our thumbs watching the game schedule. I don't think we even had our headsets on, and we're watching the game. We're like, "Oh, pause is happening." And Bruno and I looked at us like, "Oh shit, this was like the first day where they decided during pauses that take it back to the desk. Like day 2 and 3, they stopped doing that. But the first day, they're like, "Oh, let's send it back to the analyst desk."
And there was no memo given about that. It was like just on the fly, right?
It was fucking fantastic. I put my headset back on, and Carol's on the thing in my ear. She's like, "Oh, it's coming back to you guys." And I look around, I'm like, "Oh, James is here." Bruno, I'm just like, "Okay, we got this." And it comes back to us, where it's like, I don't even think we'd been watching much of the game, like, to be honest. Like,
actually, can I talk a little bit more about that? Seems like they're gonna be coming back in. I just want to say, the analyst table, you guys have tough hours, right? You start very early in the morning, and you go to the last match of the day. And the delay lasts, 12 hours, 13 hours, and you have to be in tip-top condition in front of the camera. Full respect of doing tough work like that. But I have to say, when the matches happen, right? Once you guys send it back to the casters, James just gets up and leaves. Nebula talks to the makeup girl and try to hit on her, which he kind of fails because he's Nebula.
And she was married. But
she's also married. And then you just walk off and do your thing. Bruno's the only one that sits in front. Oh, At least I'm not sure whether he's working or not.
Me and Bruno were the ones. Well, I'd say in Nebula's defense, he did a good job of watching most of the games as well. I was watching
when he's not watching the makeup girl.
Yeah, it was fucking TI2, man. I went to watch those games. Are you kidding me?
You went into the auditorium to watch the games, right?
I did that for one of the games in the grand final because I'm like, I've been sitting on this desk for 2 days straight. I want to know what it's like in the auditorium because like the crowd there was fucking amazing.
It was. I don't blame you at all for that.
So I said, I told everyone like this. I was just one game. I said this game I'm going to be in the auditorium from start to finish. By finish, I mean like 2 minutes before the GG call. I'm like, let's run back to the analyst desk because I'm going to be on camera in a second. But there was one full game I was in the auditorium. Every other game I was at the desk or. Once or twice, I had to go get lunch. Like during a break, I'd have to say, "Well, I can't watch this game. I've got to go get lunch." I told Nebula, like, "I'm getting lunch. Make sure you have some good shit to say, something smart to say during the break, because I'm not going to."
Well, maybe you're on lunch break every time I get past the analyst table, because I did not see you there. The only person I saw remotely working or pretending to work, maybe even, is Bruno. So
he was just browsing 4chan.
He actually was. He was actually having Reddit refresh every 24 seconds because he's like, "Oh man, what are they gonna say about me now?" But looks like we're back into this game. So I do hope you guys do not mind too much about that pause. Again, really out of our control, though.
It's all right. We had some good stories to tell.
We did.
Stuff that people didn't know about TI2.
Yeah. We always have more TIT story for you guys later. But for now, MUFC on the dire side. FC going to be playing Beastmaster, going mid, Russian Quick Bottle. Winter, like you talked about, going with the Shadow Demon support. Double wards being picked up. Wang on the Sand King. Got the smoke, which is very key to set up the Shadow Demon Disrupt into Burrow Strike combo. Han Trash player is going to be playing Lone Druid on the top lane, going for the Tranquil. And of course, TFG also going most likely on that bot lane with a Weaver.
Yep, and just a reminder who's playing on the Rattlesnake team. This is the team from China, a newly formed mix. We've got Kabu, the former Tongfu offlaner. He's playing the Clockwork. Luo, the former World Elite player on the Dark Sea. We've got Icy playing the Phantom Lancer. Sage M or Sag M, a player. I'm not sure if this guy's another alias, because I do not recognize his name at all. And then we've got Lan M, the former eHome carry, known for his tiny play back at TI2, playing the support Gyrocopter this time around.
Yeah, I mean, definitely showing some versatility and depth in terms of play. But for now, both teams dropping a couple of wards, making sure that they don't have to jungle ward off. And it looks like we're going to see one of those quote-unquote boring games where the tri-lanes don't match up against each other, and the two respective solos on the suicide lane trying not to die.
Yeah, it looks like we will be seeing Luo. Is he going mid lane? No, who's going mid lane is what I'm wondering here. Gyrocopter has gone full support, so it looks like they're actually going to find the bear here. The big thing here at the bottom lane is keep this Spirit Bear away, prevent it from getting that pull happening.
Man, look at...
It's not an offlane Lone Druid, it's actually an offlane Weaver, so the Lone Druid just trying to help him out.
Look at how much mana investment being used. It's going to be Lance on top, and it looks like they're going to get a kill on this. Spirit Bear goes down. And that is Phantom Lancer, yeah, big XP. Look at that, 3 heroes almost hitting about half points of EXP, and of course 100 gold to Icy.
That is really nice player. It's well worth it, because they're up against an offlane Weaver here. It's a 3v1 lane. You don't really need to be sitting on full mana. If they get through to about half mana, Central gets dropped. We're going to see a Rocket Barrage maybe used right off the bat. Wow, look at how much damage TFG is taking.
My god, TFG is going to run all the way out there, but Sakuchi cooling down right now. Of course, he's going to run more to the north. He will have Sakuchi ready to go. Or will he, though? It does have a couple more seconds, and that's first blood. Wow, really not... Yeah, second sentry. Not respecting the power of Rocket Barrage. It's insanely powerful at level 1.
And look what MUFC have done. They had the 2 support smoke ganking mid. They're actually going to get spotted by the Central if they're not careful. But it looks like they're not going to be clicked. No.
Yeah,
they weren't looking. You'd have to be looking directly over the spot to notice it. And I don't think it's the case. Problem is when they come out, they should know there's a Central Ward, but they were smoking bottom to help back up this Weaver, but he died so early, they couldn't actually do anything.
Yeah, that was actually pretty insane. And now, of course, with that first kill, all these supports, I think that was the solo kill on Gyrocopter, right? So if he's 2.5 in terms of experience. He's going to walk all the way back to base, which is something that we don't see early, or too early and too much in the early game, but he's going to have boots of speed, so he's going to have a quick trip back home. But looks like they're going to go on that Lina. Burrow Strike's going to follow through. Can you do enough damage to get that kill, though? I think they will. LSA's going to get dropped, but it looks like Weaver's going to pick up the kill, so pretty nicely done here, getting a return kill, catching up a little bit in terms of EXP and gold.
Yeah, nice little bait there. They just were very patient with it. They knew there's a Central Ward down, so they timed when they came out using the Weaver as bait, and they're making good use of the Lone Druid free farming at top. They're not wasting the supports up there. They could be getting farm and XP using some pulls, but they decided to go essentially trialing versus trialing, especially it looks like Wang is going to be staying bottom on that Sand King. Winter goes to check this bottom room, but he's going to be heading right back bottom, so it is going to remain a trialing versus trialing at bot.
Yeah, in terms of trialing versus trialing, who do you think has the advantage here? Especially considering the first blood going to the Radiant team.
Gyrocopter with boots, level 2 now. He's gone for the flat cannon stuff. I think Gyrocopter is like the ultimate trialing versus trialing hero in some ways, but if MUFC can pull his weight back a bit and not have it so that Icy's farming under his own tower, they'll be looking good, but right now they're going to struggle to do that. Yeah,
this boost of speed will be enough to kind of harass out both supports, and again, TFG still gotta just go back away from Lamb. Despite being a support, his damage output, like we saw, just ridiculous. And of course, Wang's going to have a tough time getting that level 2, in my opinion. I mean,
bottom.
Oh, they're going to make
TFG. Oh, so low. It was the lance into sun. I was about to say, I don't see how they can't really go on Weaver, but they managed to land a Lina stun, which was a big play coming out of Sag M, who apparently is Fan, so that's Fan from China. But the trialing at bottom is not going to stay, so the supports rotate out, and the problem is these supports walk all the way bottom, they now walk all the way top. They're wasting a lot of time early game walking all around the map. It takes a long time to go from top to bottom lane and back to top lane as a support with no boots.
Yeah, support with no boots and desperately needing level. Sand King is not getting any of it. Back in the mid lane, though, it's going to be a Clockwork versus Beastmaster matchup. Those are the cogs. That will be annoying as hell. Beastmaster Organ be picked up here just to really push the Equilibrium and, of course, basically make sure that he's going to have a good control of those runes, and he will because of access as well as his war. I think Kabu don't really mind too much because he will be doing just that, and bottle crawling to make sure he has enough mana himself.
It's not quite the max cogs build, which is just so ridiculous. It's not. I wouldn't even call it OP. It's just so annoying, like beyond annoying as a hero to lane against. Having all your mana constantly zapped and being pushed back. But he's going for the rocket build, which I think is a better way to be playing this. You have the additional DPS, and as a solo mid clock, you're going to be proactive on the map ganking. He's going to have to be looking to get to level 6, level 7, and then start ganking on the map. So having the max out rocket is the more reliable DPS.
Yeah, that rocket, despite not being one of the highest DPS on the game, it's actually very powerful, especially against low-level supports. And of course, Sand King is definitely one of them. Look at Lamb, picks up a regen rune, challenges Beastmaster. Rocket providing a little bit of sight, but just walks up the hill with that boost of speed and gets a kill. Sentry War gets picked up. They want map control, and they're going to get map control. That Sentry means, Weaver, you gotta be careful. They're going for you.
Yeah, the two supports were poking around top, almost meant to get the Dark Skin. The big thing at mid lane was Beastmaster, still no boots. He had enough gold, it looks like, but he hadn't picked them up. He's going to TP back mid, and still without boots, it makes it very hard for him to sort of stay around. You've got Kabu, he's going to hit level 6 just now, so another potential gank could be coming in. The wraparound is happening from Landam, but he's been spotted by an Observer Ward, so this shouldn't work, but if a hookshot leads things off, well, they could just go diving for it.
Uh-oh, he's going to get Cog. Oh no, FCFC, what happened there? Flat cannon from afar. He wants to kill that range creep, and the Rocket Barrage will soon follow. There's a Rocket Barrage, FCFC running away from the Discreet Wave, and that's going to be death. He's balling up. Can it be enough? The boost speed not going to be enough. Battery Assault coming in. The lack of boots here on FCFC is really killing Kabu, though. Oh, is he gonna get the kill? Axis doing a ton of damage. Where the hell's the Gyrocopter? The Gyrocopter's not even there, but Kabu finishes him off with the rocket. The supports is coming from Sand King. Wang Wang just need that Burrow Strike, but he's level 1. He does finally have the boots, but he's not gonna get that kill. Well, will he? Kabu's going some next level journey right now.
Suiciding. Yeah.
I think...
I love how... By the time he actually killed off the Beastmaster, Lan M was like off in his own jungle. Like,
right.
He completely fucked off. He's like, I'm out of here, man. This kill's all yours, but I'm not doing anything else.
I mean, he could have easily chased him down, especially with a cooldown to flat cannon, but he's like, nope, I'm out of here.
Well, it's a good start for Rattlesnake so far, I've got to say. They've got PL, who's got a pretty much uncontested farm at the bottom lane. He's not quite farming as well as a Lone Druid at top. And the big thing for MUFC is how they're going to use this Lone Druid farm. Are they looking for the fast Radiance, or are they going to look to start... I imagine they go for a fast Radiance, but they look to pressure towers before the Radiance is up. They should be getting this tier 1 top tower. They could maybe even get 2 towers out of this, and I think that's the big thing with MUFC. You could be looking at a 13-minute Radiance if you get those towers down fast at top lane and Lone Druid gets the gold for it.
I mean, is there any consideration of a Maelstrom build, especially considering that you're going to be getting a ton of attack speed from the Inner Beast? I mean, it's going to make it proc insane. Ooh, Kabu hooks in on the mid lane, the range creep blocking a ton. But yeah, do you think Maelstrom has a place here, especially considering the Inner Beast?
I think it's not bad, but I mean, Inner Beast still synergizes well with Radiance in the pushing line, because you get the plus damage, and then the attack speed helps you bring down towers nice and fast. So I think if MUFC want to focus more on grouping up and pushing, the Radiance is better. You can harass a lot more, and you can bring down towers a lot more efficiently. But if you're going to be team fighting more, and you want the Maelstrom proc, then the Maelstrom's better.
Well, we'll see exactly what he's going to be going for. Meanwhile, Rattlesnake on the bot lane looking to put a little bit of pressure. They don't care giving TFG EXP because he's gotten a ton of EXP. The Lances, the nukes are just coming in, and TFG does have that Tranquil Boots, so he should be mostly fine. However, this tower does not have Tranquil Boots, and, well, it's going to be going down very quickly.
The PL lane is pressuring the tier 1 tower faster than the Lone Druid lane. That just does not seem right to me.
I think that's more so in the Gyrocopter really doing the work.
Yeah, but it's a thing where MUFC, they potentially could have just ran with this strong trial on top. They haven't done so. Their supports have been more active roaming around the map, and MUFC, despite that, are behind on kills. They're now smoked up at mid, and the good news is that they now hit level 3. Raw leads things off. They're going to follow it with a Sand King stun. There should be enough damage here. Soul Catcher has landed, and there's your cogs. Sand King pushed back. You've got to get another stun, and he does. Just before the look at Winter, he gets pushed to the high ground by the cogs. He almost gets brought down there. If Luo wanted to go on him, he didn't have mana for an Iron Shell. Those cogs, man.
Cogs balance spell.
I think it's what makes Clockwork a viable hero. I think on their own they're a ridiculous spell, but considering everything else that Clockwork offers, then Battery Assault is just... I remember when Clockwork was first introduced, Battery Assault was so imba, And now Battery Assault is just a useless spell. You see most Clockworks not even getting it until like level 8 or level 9.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get a single point for that little tiny mini stun. The damage is not basically negligible, but the cogs, man, they do a ton. But meanwhile, on the bottom here, Rattlesnake gonna get that tier 1 tower. Phantom Lancer not exactly having the best CS. I want to say 43. I saw him missing a couple during the pushes, but he's got the tower, and that's gonna more than make up for that. And here's gonna be a very, very common build in the Chinese Phantom Lancer, the drums. They love to actually join battle very early on, and this is a perfect item for that.
Yeah, all the plus stats you get the auras is really nice. Lone Druid himself did get the top tier 2 tower, so he's got some extra gold as well. He's sitting on 2.2k gold. It could still be either the Maelstrom or the Radiance build. And if you're rushing the Radiance, considering he was up against no one, generally you don't get the boots of speed as well as Tranquil boots. That's a lot of early gold investment when you want that fast Radiance. You don't need those boots. You don't even really need the Tranquil boots, considering he hasn't been contested in lane. So the item pickup sort of suggests more of a Maelstrom build because he's not really rushing the Radiance, so to speak.
Yeah, but I mean, he could still go back for the Radiance, and it will still be fine. I mean, but yeah, you're completely right. Generally, you don't. If there's nobody in your lane, why to get those harassment items? TFG being really forced to the mid lane now, which I don't think he'll really get ganked because he's Weaver with time lapse and Sakuchi, especially against the Clockwork. Meanwhile, though, another big smoke gank coming out here from Invasion MUFC. They do have the Beastmaster Roar, which does have a very, very short cooldown. Let's see if they get another kill on Kabu on the mid lane.
Yeah, this is going to be a key kill for them if they can get another one. This is, I mean, a lot of smoke's being invested here. I think this is almost their third smoke already coming out.
Yeah, this is their third, yeah. They had one on the bot lane to set up a counter kill on the Lina. They have one on the mid, and another one being used just right now, but unable to get this one off.
Yeah, they get spotted out. They do get a D-ward off, and well, Beastmaster and Shadow Demon, where do they want to go from here? Rocket's going to scout them out once again. Oh, hooked it onto Winter. Winter, he's not going to stand a chance here. Iron Shell on Kabu, easy pick off.
Man, look at how easy that is. Beastmaster's going to come right in. He does have that double damage. Here comes a call down, which is going to do a ton. Lamb, how much damage will he do? Vacuum! Triple kill goes on the Radiant side. When your support Gyrocopter is leading the team fight with call down, something is really, really wrong.
Yeah, and support Gyrocopter, who's going to hit level 7 now. He's got Arcane Boots, 500 gold. Lanham's had a fantastic game so far, and you can see, it's like you mentioned, Rocket Flare maxed out fast is so good against squishy under-leveled supports. When you've got a level 4 Shadow Demon and a level 5 Sankey on the map, if they take one Rocket, that's a good chunk of their HP. If they get hit by a second, they're almost down to about 2/3 HP already, and they can't really fight. In Winter's case, he gets hit by a Rocket and he gets hook-shotted and instantly killed.
I mean, I think MUFC, one of their playstyles is to really starve their two supports and make sure that everybody having good time because they're getting these smoke ganks, they're getting the assists from the supports, but there are times where it really pays. I mean, that was a 3v1 smoke or 3v1 gank against a Clockwork with the Beastmaster Roar and a double damage on top, but it was turned down so easily simply because the supports just lack HP and they just die too quickly.
Yep, well, MUFC, where do they look to go from here? They're behind by about 3k gold. I mentioned earlier at the start of the game, they need to be having off a good start. They need to get that snowball happening with a push, and it's just not happening. Do you see them having, once they get the lone, it looks like a Radiance. Once they get that up, do they look to group up as 5 and push and team fight? Do you see them having a chance doing that?
I really don't see it. I feel like Weaver's one of those heroes that takes a while to get going, especially the way that he started the game. I mean, some Weavers could get off a decent start because of his skill set, you can actually pick off supports very easily. He hasn't had that. In fact, he's got killed once or twice. Even gave up First Blood. He's not going for an early game build, which is something he suggests, like a Medallion Courage, for example. So I feel like his impact is going to be somewhat neglectable. Of course, Inner Beast Aura is going to help him out. He could, chase it and kill a support or two, but I really don't think MUFC need a snowball. They can. I want to see actually a quick Medallion on somebody, though, because I feel like with the Spare Bearer, the Inner Beast Aura, and a Medallion, you could take down Roshan very easily. Yeah. And this is something that you could really easily do against a Radiant team, despite having a Clockwork and a Darkseer, which is kind of scary to go into the pit against. You could definitely sneak a Roshan or two because you kill it so quickly.
Yeah, I think for MUFC, it's not so much a snowball here, but it's just going to be a continuous group up and come and fight us. You can't really fight into... I mean, Medallion can get to the minus armor. The Lone Druid's going to be really tanky. The Beastmaster's going to be there with the Aura. He's not going to any points in the Call of the Wild. And MUFC can just walk around the map taking towers as 5. It's not going to really get them incredibly far ahead, but it is a game plan that they can execute pretty well. And I agree. They go for Roshan. It's pretty hard for Rattlesnake to really stop them because they're on that dire side. They have the dire advantage. And if they time it well, so there's 1 or 2 heroes who are farming top lane or farming mid, they can get into that Roshan pick pretty uncontested.
Ooh, Winter's going to eat Lance, and to be honest, I think Icy could have just chased under a tower and perhaps even go for the kill, especially with a drum activation or two, but he's going to play it safe, make sure that he's going to be farming in lane. He's going to have a 1,000 gold very, very soon. You think it's going to be a Diffusal play or a Yasha?
I think almost without a doubt you go the Diffusal Blade here. If you go the Yasha, your Diffusal Blade gets delayed so much, and Diffusal Blade is the item when you're spamming, because Rattlesnake are going to be spending a lot of the time in the next 10 minutes probably defending towers. Even though they're ahead, they're going to be the ones who are under siege and under a lot of pressure. So the Diffusal Blade, when you're spamming Lancers, gives you that extra DPS and harass. Combine it with the Cogs mana burn, these heroes on the MUFC side are going to be very, very starved for mana.
Yeah, sure, especially if you're going to be chasing in. But looks like we're going to have a little bit of action up top. Clock Hookwork game win in. Ironshaw on top. Couple more right clicks. Everybody available. And we keep talking about this push coming in from MUFC. It seems like Rattlesnake's the one that's actually on the enemy side of the map. Couple teleportation scroll going on bot lane. They want this kill, but it's so damn hard to get a kill on well, they're going to try to focus. There's a dust. There's a smoke. A lot of times,
PL illusion.
Yeah, there's a PL illusion. A lot of times when you're ganking in PL, you want to actually start with the smoke of the seat, because you could use that smoke as a detection method against the Phantom Lancer. But like we talked about earlier, MUFC has really drained a lot of their smoke usage so far.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake now, they're the ones getting the team on top 10. I think MUFC are just waiting so long and hard for the Radiance. Unfortunately, Hon Trashplay going down there, he was sitting at about 3.5k gold. For one thing, he loses a bit of gold, but he more than anything loses farming opportunity. He would have that relic gold by now if he'd spent that time farming. And I think a lot of it comes down to, we mentioned earlier, but I'm mentioning again, he didn't go for a very efficient build as far as rushing the Radiance. He got the Trenkles, the Boots, the Orb of Venom, and now he's going to find himself and his team really struggling to go push until he has it. And he's going to spend more time going back top lane, getting more farm up. And that's time where Rattlesnake, well, PL's getting up his Diffusal Blade, Clockwork's getting up maybe a cloak or into a pipe. You've got the mech up on Darkseer, and all these Radiant heroes are getting levels and farm to help deal with that push.
Well, they're going to try to use this time on the bot and setup kill on Icy. There we go. Beastmaster is going to start it up. Now Burrow Strike to follow through. Soul Catcher. Epicenter. That's going to get canceled. The mech comes through, and the chase goes the other way. Laguna Blade. That's one kill. Clockwork goes out here for Wang Wang. Wang Wang said FCFC is going to be surrounded by 4. He's going to try to TP out. Good luck to that one. And another time, we see a 3-man gank not going in the favor of the Radiant team, or the Dire team. Rattlesnake is just on top of things right now.
Yeah, they weren't even close to killing him off. Well, I say they weren't even close. They got him down to about half HP, but then wand with the mech, and he was suddenly back to full HP instantly. He just healed himself up. All the damage he took, he negated with the mech as well as that magic wand. And now, Tier 2 tower possibly to follow, with all those heroes dead and Rattlesnake starting to pull away. This Tier 2 tower should be pretty easy to bring down. Yeah,
not only that, they could rotate in on the mid lane, because right now we do see Lanham pushing that mid and applying pressure there as well. They could get bot, rotate mid, and Glyph is down for a bit here. And TFG, what is he going to really accomplish in this game? He's got 1,400 gold in the bank. I really don't know what he could get with that next 2,000 gold, perhaps even a Yasha, but I mean, what does Yasha do for you?
I think you just need something like a Vitality booster just for the raw HP. Get the value booster and then start looking for either some kind of semi-DPS or survivability item, but I think you just need a raw Vitality booster for the survivability.
Here comes Kabu. He does have the clock ready, or clock hook ready to go. He has a double damage as well. Point booster being picked up. I mean, as soon as he sees a support, that support is basically dead. FCFC, what is he farming for? He's just nothing. He's got boots upgrade. That's it. I feel like there's nobody get farm on, aside from the Lone Druid, obviously. Just nobody having enough farm, and they're supposed to be the early game team.
Yeah, and FCFC's even stopped leveling up the Inner Beast. I think MUFC have realized quickly, it's like, okay, we're not going to win with this group up as 5 and push. The Lone Druid's starting to fall behind, and the enemy team's getting good. They're going to start building towards the late game. So the Hawk, he can help out a bit here just to scout off gate, prevent ganks happening as well. And I think for the most part, MUFC have realized they're now playing from the back foot, so they've got to adjust accordingly.
And I mean, they're playing a late game, Plan B strat against Phantom Lancer, which is a hero that you really can't play a late game against, especially when his farm has basically been unstopped, right? He's going to have a Diffusal Blade being delivered to him very, very soon. He's already got 2 blades already. And, I mean, once the Diffusal Blade's up, I feel like Phantom Lancer and his team could even mount the push if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something where they can at least chip away. These outer towers should fall relatively easily. The top tier 2, the bottom one, they've already put some pressure on the bottom one. They forced out the Glyph, and MUFC, well, where do they look to go from here? And it's not just going to be a Phantom Lancer farm. I mean, we mentioned the support Gyrocopter, but Gyrocopter can even transition into a semi-DPS. We saw Misery do it a lot with LGD International, where he'd go into the drums BKB. So far, we're not seeing that from Lennon. He went for the Arcane Boots. He even picked up an Earnest Shadows. I think going for something like a BKB or a Manta Star would be a great little mid-game item, though.
I mean, the way that he had a beautiful start, he definitely can go for that kind of semi-DPS, but seems like he's a little bit more concerned in terms of getting support items, Arcane into Earn, like you talked about. Just really making sure that his team is very fully capable of fighting. TFG does have that value Vip booster like you talked about, but that's just less and less damage as this game progresses.
Yeah, I mean, from here he needs Yasha, maybe into a Manta style, but whatever he gets, it's going to be so slow. And you've got Rattlesnake, who are just going to be incredibly far superior in terms of overall farm. Kabu, he finds himself a haste as well, as he's got a DD rune already popped at bottom lane. He's building towards an Aghanim Scepter, about at level 11. And that's the thing, it's not just an item difference, there's a big level difference between the two teams as well right now.
Well, looks like TFG's going to find himself a Sage or a Sagam, although you can't really die for that kill. Oh, man. TFG's by himself alone in an island. The Cog just grab him. Do they know that he's inside? That's a big question. They now do. Clockwork Hook could be used as a stun. There's a backtrack trying to get that stun, but when you're trapped into an 8-second Cog, you're not running out of there, Sakuchi or not.
Well, unfortunately for MUFC, things just not going at all their way. They're going to get dewatered now near the Roshan pit. Rattlesnake poking around it, I don't see them going for this. No, he's just going to sell off his bottle. Picks up a Void Stone. So Luo already starting to build a Scythe of Ice really early on. He's saying, okay, I've got my mech up now. Let's go going for that late game item as well, for that lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, if this game goes late, I don't think the Dire will win that. I mean, Phantom Lancer or not, the fact that they have such a big level advantage, and because with the level and go advantage, they will grab more of that advantage as they take the remaining tier 2s, as they start looking into the Roshan pit, and there's just nothing that MUFC can do about it. They're going to try here on the mid lane here against Kabu, Beastmaster Roar on top as well, but here comes Luo. Mech not being used just yet here. Still no mech. Looks like he's going to be fine after that very late mech. But here comes the Radiance. If you get a big entangle, Lamb looks like he's going to be a little bit triple as well. But the turnaround coming against TFG. TFG's going to go back away. Ellis, oh, nice Dragon Slave. But here comes the epicenter. The Cogs not really helping out. They're going to turn it around against Wang Wang. Wang Wang also go down. 2-for-1 trade so far, but tier 2 tower has been destroyed. And looks like the Lone Druid Bear really being forced back. Contrast player taking a lot of damage. Good thing that he did not go down there.
It was the right time for MUFC to make a stand. They just picked up the Radiance on the Lone Druid. They were ready to try and take that fight, but it's just the item difference really showing there, and the mech being popped at the right time. The chase almost went the way of MUFC. That Sanking Epicenter, he could have just a bit more damage, and they get 2-3 kills out of it. Instead, he only got the 1, and, well, Rattlesnake, they're back to farming. They're back getting those next level items up, and they now get even more XP and farm going their way.
Yep, a 10,000 gold lead in the favor of Radiant, as well as a 75,000 experience lead. Let's check out those items. We've been talking about the item advantage on the Radiant side. The big thing for me is that there's a mech completed. Of course, we've seen the effect of it in the last fight. You can see that Lamb is going for a Shadow Blade, and want to support Gyrocopter, who's been warding and dewarding, is going to have a Shadow Blade on top. Man, that's going to get very scary. Level 2 Diffusal Blade on Phantom Lancer, in addition to his drums. And of course, the point booster being picked up here on Kabu, working on that Acceptor. And if you look at Dire, there's a Radiance on Hontrash player, which is pretty decent. But aside from him, there's just really nothing to show for. I think FCFZ's had that Shreds for the longest time, but he's just been dying in every single fight.
Yeah, I think it's a big issue here. Having the Radiance up on Lone Druid, decent time, and he'll get those next items up fairly fast if he can find the space to farm, as well as, I mean, MUFC wins some team fights, but the big issue is your solo mid has next to nothing. He does go for this gem here to help things out, but your solo mid not doing well, your Weaver not really with a whole lot of farm. He's done all right for himself now with his Vitality boost. It does add a lot of survivability. We saw last fight, Lena's really finding him and being spot on with those Dragon Slaves as well, LSAs, and it's causing Weaver all sorts of problems. The burst damage is there to bring him down fast and preventing him from getting that time lapse off. So Rattlesnake, well, they're the ones in control right now. They can do almost absolutely anything. And look at this Gyrocopter build. There's your somewhat carry-based item build.
Yeah, like I said, he's working on that like that Shadow Blade, and yeah. I mean, I don't think he needs a Shadow Blade because he's not really like playing the Initiator, but the Shadow Blade really for the attack speed and damage, which, I mean, he's fine. All he has to do is stay in the back line, allow his, Clockwork, the Darkseer, Phantom Lancers in front, and he's going to provide a very nice amount of damage, a lot more than you expect from a support, definitely.
Yeah, it will be up against the Gem of the Beastmaster, but I think you can sort of play around it, not to mention you're probably expecting to maybe kill off the Beastmaster sometime in the next fight or two, so they're hoping that maybe they can take the gem away, or if not, it's still Shadow Blade's still a good item, even when your opponents have that gem.
Lina going to be going back in the jungle, looking for that level 11. Once you get level 11, your ultimate becomes extremely impressive. And of course, like you said, the Radiant could do whatever they want, which if they want to take it late, they definitely can. Another 1500 gold on Phantom Lancer. I wonder when they're going to start going on the Roshan pit, they being the Radiant team. I mean, Rocket's a great kind of a scouting spell, and you could definitely have, the Darkseer advantage in the pit, if you will. So
Yeah, I'm imagining we see PL starting to build towards the heart. It's not the easiest here to bring down Roshan with. This Radiant lineup overall just isn't very efficient or strong at taking down Roshan, but PL, Diffusal level 2, something worth mentioning, something which frustrates me with so many PL games that I cast is PLs who don't get that level 2 Diffusal fast. It's so strong. That's where your power comes from, being able to mana burn heroes down. And it goes from 20 mana burn per hit to 36, so it's just such a strong upgrade. You don't need to save your purge charges, you just need to upgrade as soon as possible.
I mean, not only that, it's also the illusion damage increasing a sizable increase. Of course, not only getting more agility, but the more mana burn damage, which will fully translate on your illusion as well. So it's basically like getting another tier 2 item, tier 3 item, if you will, for illusions on a simple cost of 800 gold. You see ZSMJ always upgrading instantly, and I think has really caught on with the other Chinese Phantom Lancers.
Yeah, all the Chinese players doing sometimes they'll get the Vitality booster before they get the level 2 Diffusal, but they'll never go like full heart into Manta style and then be like, oh, I got heart Manta style, let's get my level 2 Diffusal. No, it's right off the bat they're getting it. It is a different style of play. Like, I know a lot of the European and American teams, they play Phantom Lancer a different style, and with the Chinese teams, it's a lot more chip away at you, really wear you down. With the European teams, it's a lot more all aggressive, but we'll talk about that later. It's going to be Hon Trash Player. Going to be caught out here. Hookshot is there. He's going to get caught out once again, and with this pick-off, it should be a tier 2 tower on top. Maybe even we see some further aggression and start looking to go high ground to those tier 3s.
Yeah, the Bears also kill, so I mean, that's a little bit more gold going toward a Rattlesnake. And here comes that tier 2 push. I think it's about time here for MUFC to really consider what to do in the next game, because I really don't think they will be winning this one. The advantage is simply too big. 9 kill, the goal difference is, it never really turned back. It's just slow but a very steady increase in that lead, and Rattlesnake continue to build on that lead.
Yeah, there's 26 seconds on the Lone Druid. He's going to be able to have just one Summon Spirit Bear, so if they bring it down as well, he can't resummon it in this fight. 20 seconds without him, so at least some chip damage? No, they're going to back off. They're going to look to defend this tier 2 bottom. They don't want to be giving up any more towers here. Lancers go flying out, and, well, Rattlesnake decided to play it safe. I think they know they have this game in the late game. With Darkseer, no, he hasn't gone for the full side of Ice. He went back for the pipe, so I think you mentioned that, but he's going to be going side of Ice later on, and there's no way Rattlesnake can really lose this late game, so I think they're quite happy to not look to seal the deal just yet.
Yeah, Darkseer, I mean, definitely a hero that has some mana issues. I guess the value Void Stone is the best way to look at it. I feel like when you're playing the Darkseer, it doesn't matter how much mana regen item you get, he just runs out of mana so quickly because his spells are so expensive and they're fairly spammable as well.
Yeah, very spammable, and, well, Rattlesnake, well, as far as what can go wrong for them here, it's really very little. Getting a bit overconfident, giving away a few unnecessary kills, but the best thing MUFC can maybe look to do is go for some sort of big 5-man complexity-style smoke ganks, and they're doing just that. They get everyone smoked up, but whatever pickoffs they get aren't going to look to turn the game around. It's going to be really hard to transition into a push after they get a pickoff. A lot of these heroes with buyback, and they want to try and find maybe a team fight, well, a 5v2 or a 5v3 skirmish, but it's going to be really hard to do that.
Well, they're going to go into that Roshan pit and using a dire advantage like I talked about. And of course, the aura is going to be very, very helpful. Here comes a bear.
Well, I think Roshan, getting an Aegis is better than getting a pickoff right now. So I think this is a pretty solid decision from MUFC.
And I don't think they're actually detected at all. Rocket, I think they flew by a little bit earlier. Looks like they're going to go into their smoke. Ooh, they're drawing arrows, and that's so near the Roshan pit. The Roshan's not going down quickly enough. And I think as soon as they smoke the spell, yeah, they know they're inside. And here we go. This is a very, very bad place to take that fight. Offensive disruption already being used. Winter dropping spell. Looks like Epicenter being channeled. Kabuto will man fight FCFC's losing that race. And look at Lamb on low ground, shooting everybody down onto high ground. The Bears on the run. And I do believe with this team fight, a 4v0 wipe so far. And I think they're going to get Han Trash Pearl as well.
He's TPing out. He's got no resummon bear. No stun in time.
Nice TP.
That was a bit too low, but to me this looks like GG. I wouldn't be surprised to see MUFC even call it right now, just because of how far behind they are. The gold graph getting worse and worse. Over 12k gold. We're looking at about a 15k lead for Rattlesnake, and it's not really worth saying there's what MUFC can still do, because there's next to nothing they could still do except something miraculous from something miraculously bad happening to Rattlesnake. There's no way Rattlesnake can lose this game.
Man, they don't even put the Aegis on the Phantom Lancer because he's got the heart finish. He's holding a gem. They're going to give the Aegis on Luo because, well, he's quite important to the team, to be honest. I think if one way that Rattlesnake could lose a team fight is somehow Luo dying before he pops his mech, as well as pipe, as well as wall. But that option is also even taken away, so yeah, I don't see Rattlesnake even losing this game at all. I mean, I don't think they even lose more than 2 or 3 hero in the team fight. Should the Dire initiate very well.
Yeah, if MUFC really want, they can try focus down the Lina, and they're pretty much guaranteed to get that kill. But that's a losing recipe for a team fight. You need to deal with these key heroes. There is a shadow. I guess the one thing which is keeping MUFC in the game is you've got the Shadow Demon. You can make your own PL Illusion army, which is something great for stalling, not great for winning the game though.
But there's Flat Cannon too. I feel like the rating could even deal against stats, so I don't know.
Absolutely. And no more gem on the Dire side, it looks like. Yeah, no more gem on the Dire side. So this Shadow Blade on the Gyrocopter is going to be stronger and stronger. And the Dire team don't really have sentries, dust, or anything to counter it right now. Simply because I guess they haven't really been having to deal with... well, they've been dealing with the Phantom Lands with the gem, but right now, they've got absolutely nothing for this. And the XP as well. It's starting to get very, very ugly difference between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Telling Tales Hunt Trash player's item progression, we saw a very good timing on the Radiance, and I believe you're saying, you know, whatever his next item will be, it will come very, very quickly. And that's normally the case, but he just has a Hyperstone, and I think it was a 19-minute relic, or 19-minute Radiance. Since then, he has a Hyperstone. That's not good at all, so... I think that's really a byproduct of how this game's going. He's really getting ganked. He's getting killed every fight, aside from the last one that he miraculously TP out. And they're losing towers. They haven't gained too much ground in terms of Roshan kills, in terms of tower kills. And his income has just really been halted.
Yeah, it really hasn't been going well. Lan M now picks himself up a Vitality boost on the Gyrocopter. And it looks like Rattlesnake are getting ready to go towards this mid lane. Winter's there to defend it. At this point, you need to start maxing out Disruption, because Disruption on the PL Illusion is the one thing which will buy MUFC some time. Yep.
Here we go. The push is happening right now on the mid lane. Disruption is going to be used. Every time you level up that Disruption, it will last 2 extra seconds. So, you know, especially with Phantom Lancer Illusions, you want them to procreate as much as possible. So, maxing it quickly is going to be important. But he's level 8. I mean, he's not going to have a lot of opportunity to get that EXP, at least not when the PL is pushing in with the piping activated. Here we go. I really don't think MVC will be able to hold this, but we'll see how much they're going to do.
TFG's behind. He's going to chuck a swarm here. Probably going to look to just chip away at this Lina. But Lina, so far, just sticking with the team, not allowing any openings. And Rattlesnake, well, T3 tower uncontested. And there's no real sign from MUFC that they want to engage. And how do you actually engage into a Darkseer right now? It's going to be really difficult. Even with the pipe on cooldown, there's still a mech, there's a vacuum wall, and, well, all they're doing is just get another Disruption up with the PL. And once those PL illusions were off, I imagine we see Rattlesnake just bring down these Raxes.
Yeah, they're going to be nuking them away. I mean, they do have hearts, so quite tanky right now. PL walking up on the hill. I mean, with the heart, with the Phantom Lancer, you could just poke up, eat a couple of nukes, eat a couple of spells, back off, regen, rinse, repeat, and they will actually chip away so much and so quickly that eventually you're going to lose your Rex.
They're even chipping away at this Spirit Bear, just throwing lances, whatever it may be, trying to basically force a resummon or even bring it down once. If Lone Druid only has one bear, then this fight suddenly becomes a whole lot easier for Rattlesnake. Once again, they go high ground. Looks like there's still no dust. Oh, there's a Sentry Ward over on the MUFC side, just slightly off to the side. They are going to get the go in, this time with the pipe. Rax is going to go down. Cog just being used by Karpu to sort of deter MUFC from engaging it. They force out a Glyph. Integ onto Icy. Can they go on this? But the bear, Spirit Bear, just cannot stand up to the damage coming out of Rattlesnake. It barely survives. It's got to go heal up or be resummoned though.
Yep. I mean, I just don't see a really logical response here coming from MUFC. They're throwing every spell they can against Icy, but it's just not enough. That Axis is just not chopping these creep waves quickly enough. And I thought with the second usage of the pipe, they would have got the Rex right there. Nice Burrow Strike. Is that going to be the go? But the Clockwork counter initiation. They're going to focus on Han Trash Pro. He dodged the LSA. Vacuum back in. Call down. Wall in the middle. And looks like, well, nice defensive disruption. But I don't really think that's going to be enough. The creep wave is going to go down. The melee Rex is going to go down as well. And they could even rotate bot or top. Clockwork hooks a second time. Nice. He's going to backtrack out. And GG's going to call Winter. A little bit late even on that GG, but they try for a comeback, and it just couldn't happen. Not because they're playing bad or anything, they're just down way too much.
Yeah, I think the start from them just was not there. The Shadow Demon and the Sand King spent a lot of time roaming around the map. They couldn't find the openings that they were after. Weaver gave away that really fast early first blood. It was just a series of, well, I was about to say badly played moments from MUFC, but firstly, they lost the Spirit Bear. Secondly, the Weaver gave away the first blood when the two supports are rotating bottom. So the two supports smoke ganked bottom at level 1, but they didn't even get the first blood. And Rattlesnake, they just got off to this huge, great start against a team who was meant to dominate the early game, but it just didn't happen from MUFC.
Yeah, and they never looked back since. So game number 1 is going to be going towards Rattlesnake. And of course, if they win another one, MUFC will be knocked out on the G1 League qualifier phase 2, or actually out of the entire tournament. So MUFC got to bounce back, and well, Winter is from BTS, so I guess there is a little bit of rooting for him to do so. But right now, Rattlesnake looking strong. We'll be taking a short break, but we'll be coming back with game number 3. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast so far. We are Beyond the Summit. This is Luminous and Gods, and we will be back momentarily.